Hey guys, it's Archon with possibly the most shocking news we've gotten from Blizzard since the release of Diablo 3. Just yesterday, the D3 team put out this article letting us know that they're going to be shutting down both the gold and real money auction house. That's right. They're completely getting rid of both auction houses come March 18th, 2014. This coming March, there will no longer be an auction house in Diablo. First of all, tip of the hat to Blizzard. I think this is an awesome thing for the game. Jay Wilson came out, I think 8 months ago, and said that the auction house has hurt the game. The rest of the D3 dev team seem to agree, and I think most of the players do too. The auction house has really turned Diablo 3 into auction house simulator because the auction house has become the most efficient way to farm gold, and all the progression ultimately happens on the auction house. You very rarely find items in game anymore. You're getting all your items from the auction house. Even if you are earning stuff from playing in game, it's just to get gold so you can buy the real upgrades on the auction house, and that's very detrimental for the game. So I think this is a big success for Diablo and very telling of the Diablo 3 dev team. I felt for a while now that the Diablo 3 dev team would rather improve the game than make more money from the real money auction house, but most of the players didn't think that way, and now they've kind of proven it to us. I think kudos to Blizzard. This really shows their true colors. Now, of course, not all the players feel that this is a good thing. I did a poll on my stream yesterday, and only about 70% of the players thought that the auction house being removed from the game was a good thing. The other 30% would rather the auction house stay in the game. But I just want to make a video giving you guys my opinion about the removal of the auction house and then make a few predictions about it as well. The first prediction being based on this date. As you notice, they give us a very specific date about when the auction house is going to be removed. Tuesday, March 18th, 2014. What could this date mean? Why do they have such a specific date? Well, one prediction we can probably make is that Reaper of Souls will come out after March 18th. It would be really weird if they released Reaper of Souls and then a little while later got rid of the auction house. That would cause a lot of problems with itemization, I would imagine. So I think it's pretty safe to bet Reaper Souls after March 18th. Another prediction we could possibly make is that the pre-expansion patch may come out on March 18th. Or perhaps the expansion itself, but I imagine they'd want to get rid of the gold auction house and real money auction house before the expansion, leaving a little bit of time just in case anything goes wrong or they have to do anything in between there. I think it's very likely March 18th, 2014, we'll get the pre-expansion patch, which of course would have Loot 2.0 and Paragon 2.0 and a bunch of other really cool features. And then I'm guessing shortly after that we get the expansion. If you compare it to World of Warcraft, usually there's a pre-expansion patch a couple weeks to a month before the expansion comes out. So what does the removal of the auction house mean for the future of Diablo 3? Well, assuming that it comes out with Loot 2.0, I think it's kind of hard to say. We don't know everything about Loot 2.0 yet, and itemization will be vastly different from how it is now. A lot of my viewers were worried that it would take too long to gear up their characters without an auction house. However, as we've seen from the console version of Diablo, it's not too hard to change itemization in a way where you don't need the auction house to gear up your character. And they have told us in Loot 2.0 you'll be finding much more epic legendaries. Very likely that you'll be able to gear up your characters just fine without the auction house. I think there probably will be some builds that will take a while to acquire the gear for, but I think that's a good thing. I think it's good if there's some really epic builds that you're looking forward to and you're working towards over a long period of time. One thing we can say for sure is that the auction house will no longer be the best place to farm golds or get upgrades. However, could third-party sites be the new best place to get your upgrades? Diablo 2 didn't have an auction house, and a lot of the more serious players would use third-party sites to do trading or to buy items with real money. And nowadays, a lot more people use third-party sites than they used to back in the days of D2. So could you feel obligated to sit on third-party forums for hours on end just to try to trade up to the best gear? Could that become more efficient than farming gear yourself? And could buying items with real money on third-party sites just replace the real money auction house? Have we just traded one evil in for another evil? Now, trading on forums, of course, is less efficient than trading on the auction house, therefore it won't be quite as worth it, thus making farming more worth it by comparison. However, buying items with real money will still be worth it for the people who don't mind dropping a few dollars. Now, of course, it will be against terms of service. You could get banned for doing that, but people will still do it. It will still cause a problem in the game. And I think maybe the best way to alleviate that problem is to give some incentive for finding gear yourself. You can do this either by making it so that the best gear that drops is bound to you, which is soul bound. A lot of players don't like that idea. I happen to be someone who does like that idea. Or you can make it so you could only enchant gear that you found yourself, giving you incentive to find gear yourself and making trading a little bit less worth it. A lot of players are wondering if Blizzard is going to add some kind of alternative to trading now that the auction house is being removed. Are they going to add some kind of trading post that'll allow players to trade easily within the game without the auction house? And I think they have to kind of walk a fine line here. You don't want trading to be so hard that it's frustrating and you can never find anyone that wants to trade gear with you, but you don't want trading to be so easy that it becomes more efficient than just playing the game. So I think it would be cool if they had some kind of trading post, but I think it's going to be tricky on how they would implement something like that. The important thing, of course, is that playing the game is the most efficient way to gear up our characters, and removing the auction house definitely takes us closer in that direction. Now, another problem that Diablo 2 had was that gold ultimately became worthless. Without items to spend gold on, gold lost its value very quickly, and a lot of players are worried that's going to happen in Diablo 3. Now, I think this problem is a much smaller problem. Really, all we need is enough gold sinks that people are willing to put their gold into to compensate for all the gold you're finding while killing monsters. As long as you never have more gold than you need to do your enchanting and your blacksmithing and your jewel crafting, then gold will always have value. You'll always need more gold so that you can enchant more things or craft more things. So I think as long as Blizzard does a good job of adding gold sinks, which they've been adding a lot in Reaper of Souls, then we won't have to worry about gold becoming useless. It'll always have some value. Another issue, of course, will be gems. It'll be really hard to get up to a Marquise gem without the auction house, which is why I think they'll probably do what they've done in the console and make it so it only takes 2 of each gem to make the next level instead of 3, which dramatically lowers the amount of gems you need to get from Flawless Square to Marquise. Now, a lot of other players have probably thought about this too because the price of Flawless Square gems has gone way up. A lot of people are trying to stock up on Flawless Square gems before they make the change. I'm assuming that they think that they will probably lower it to 2 gems per craft, and then Flawless Squares would be worth a lot more and be nice to have some stockpiled up. And a lot of players are asking what other changes are there going to be to the economy between now and March 18th. As far as items go, we can imagine that as we approach the expansion, the value of those items will go down pretty dramatically, because once the expansion comes out, you'll be able to get level 70 gear, which will replace your level 60 gear pretty much immediately. So those items aren't going to be worth nearly as much as they are now. I think especially the high-end items will lose a lot of value by the time the expansion comes out. But as far as the price of gold goes, I think it's pretty hard to predict at this point. On one hand, people might assume that gold's going to be worthless once there's no auction house, and they might try to sell their gold, which would make the value of gold go way down. On the other hand, this is the last chance. I mean, at least on March 18th, will be the last chance for people to buy gold legally, and people might want to stock up so they don't have to farm a bunch themselves or use third-party websites, and that could cause the price of gold to go way up. Overall, I think it's just too early to say what this is going to do to the economy. As of right now, not much has changed on the auction house. As for me, I use the auction house most mornings to build a set for one of the viewers. I won't be able to do that anymore come March 18th, but I think it's totally worth it. And I believe starting March 18th, we'll start a little trading post of our own on my stream. We'll allow viewers to trade in items for points and then use those points to get other people's items. That way, it'll make it a little bit easier for you guys to trade gear without the auction house. Once again, way to go, Blizzard, getting rid of the real money auction house to improve the quality of the game. I think Blizzard is quickly gaining back the approval of their players, and Reaper of Souls is looking like it's going to be one of the best games out there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please hit that subscribe button if you did, and I'll have another one for you soon.